In this video, I'm reviewing the EILLEO Spacewalk H5 Pro electric bike, which is EILLEO's compact folding e-bike that also comes with a passenger seat. I'm going to be going over the assembly process and go in depth on the features and specs, do an acceleration test, a braking test, a hill climb test, and review how it rides. So let's get to it. The H5 Pro comes in a smaller bicycle shipping box, but it is heavy, so make sure to be careful when moving, and if possible, have someone help you move it. After opening the bike, it's assembled about 75%. All you have to do is remove the bike, install the front wheel, install the rear backrest, passenger seat, passenger pegs, and the front display and light. The whole process took me about 30 minutes or so, with most of my time being spent installing the rear seat and the backrest. It's not a difficult bike to build, but some might need to read the instructions, so just take your time and use patience. When we went through the bike, all the bolts were tight, all the welds were nice, the brakes felt good, it powered up no problem, and all the electronics worked. And folding the H5 Pro is super easy. Just fold the handlebars, then fold the frame in half, and that's it. So the first thing you notice about the H5 Pro is the compact frame design, which is made of aluminum. It also folds really easily, and only takes about 10 seconds to fold the bike. There's also a nifty little grab handle, so you can pick up the bike easily when folded. The bike is powered by a 500 watt rear hub motor that has a peak output of 622 watts. It provides assistance up to 13.7 miles per hour. Providing power to the motor is a 48 volt, 7.8 amp hour battery that's UL certified, has 20 plus miles of range, and is stored underneath the rear passenger seat, which is there if you wish to bring a child along with you on the ride. The rear passenger seat measures about 11 inches long, about 6 inches wide, and has a rear backrest. The H5 Pro comes with a single rear mechanical disc brake with a 140mm rotor. The wheels are 14-inch wheels that come with street tires with a 2.125-inch width, and for additional comfort, there's a front suspension fork with 40mm of travel. It also comes with a single-speed drivetrain with a 16-tooth cassette and a 52-tooth chainring. And for safety and increased visibility, there's a headlight and a tail light, and the rear tail light also serves as a brake light. The H5 Pro has an overall length of 46.5 inches, a wheelbase of 32 inches, a minimum handlebar height of 35.5 inches, a maximum handlebar height of 42 inches, a handlebar width of 22 inches, a minimum seat height of 25.5 inches, a maximum seat height of 34 inches, it weighs in at 56 pounds, has a weight capacity of 220 pounds. At the time of recording, you can pick one up for $299 on their website.
So the first thing we're going to do is check out the claim top speed, which EILLEO says is 13.7 miles per hour. Comparing the bike to my speedometer app, because there's no speedometer on the bike, it says 13 miles per hour, so it's correct. Okay, next thing we're going to do is to see the hill climbing ability using only the throttle. We're going up a 9% gradient, and we're doing the top speed. Easy peasy. Maintaining speed, still maintaining. Wow. Not the most aggressive power band, but it climbed a 9% gradient with ease. Okay, so now we're gonna do the hill climb on a much steeper hill. This goes from 12 to 15%. So we're hitting the 12% gradient up right about now. Using only the throttle, we're 8 miles per hour. We're still climbing, but now we are hitting the steepest part of the climb, which is 15%. Just for reference, I'm about 175 pounds. I mean, the bike still is going. Okay, we're at 5. I want to say that 15% is its max. I'm just gonna pedal up. So I'd say about 13 to 14% is its max, at least with me on it. And then pedaling up the 15% just with pedal assist isn't too bad. Next thing we're gonna do is to see what the acceleration is using only the throttle to the top speed. Here we go. Ready and go. And we're tapped.
So the H5 Pro went 0 to the top speed of 13.7 miles per hour in 6.92 seconds. And I must say that the bike has a very smooth and linear acceleration, and it gets up to top speed pretty easily. It feels like it's tuned not to be fast, but to be able to carry a lot of weight, which makes sense since the bike is designed to carry a child with you, so having a super torquey motor might cause the bike to wheelie. Next, I want to test out the braking distance from the top speed of 13.7 miles per hour, which the H5 Pro did in respectable 16.5 feet. The braking was pretty good on the H5 Pro, especially considering it only has a rear brake. I do wish that it came with a front brake as well, but if you want to add one, it's super easy, and the wheel already comes with a 6-bolt pattern for the brake rotor, and the fork also has brake mounts as well. So riding the H5 Pro is one of the most unique experiences I've ever had riding a bicycle. It does take a little bit to get used to the seating position, but the crazy part is, it's actually pretty comfortable. The reach is on the shorter side, but I'm 5'10" and I was still fine. But I do think if you're much taller than me, you might find the reach and the seat height just too short. The one part that does take a little bit to get used to is the narrow handlebars, which makes the bike turn directions extremely well, but at higher speeds it can feel a little twitchy. The ride is also pretty compliant, which did surprise me since it has small wheels. The front fork does a really good job smoothing out the ride, and the seat has enough cushioning so you don't feel any vibrations. And when it comes to the power, it is interesting because the bike has really good power and it's able to go up hills with ease, but it's not instant torquey power. I think that since this bike has extremely short wheelbase, and there's a lot of weight on the back of the bike, especially if you're carrying a child, EILLEO Spacewalk chose to tame down the power so you don't accidentally wheelie, but you are able to still have enough power to climb hills. The motor does help when pedaling, but there's a lot more power when using the throttle. So when going up very steep hills, I do recommend both using the throttle and pedaling at the same time. If you do this, you can climb some pretty steep hills. But even though the bike does pedal efficiently, I think that most people are going to be riding the H5 Pro around in throttle-only electric mode, which the bike does great, and it cruises around the top speed of 13.7 miles per hour like nothing. I do feel it can go much faster, but I believe that the top speed is limited for safety in case you have a child in the back. Which brings me up to the last part, and that's how the bike rides with a passenger. So I took my daughter, who's 4'6" and weighs about 70 pounds, and the bike had more than enough power to cruise around with ease. Admittedly, she is bigger than I would recommend. I'd actually recommend kids between the ages of 2 and 7 years old, but the bike still got up to speed easily. And since the bike isn't tuned to be super torquey, the bike never feels like it's going to accidentally wheelie. The only thing that I think is missing is a grab bar for the child, but you can pick one up pretty cheaply on Amazon. So far through my extensive testing, the H5 Pro has held up really well to daily use. The 500 watt brushless motor is almost silent and extremely smooth. It's able to cruise at the top speed of 13.7 miles per hour easily and has a very comfortable ride. The tires, frame, and fork do a really good job of muting out any vibrations. And I've ridden a lot of bikes in my lifetime, everything from road bikes, folding e-bikes, moto-style e-bikes, and even prototype carbon fiber electric mountain bikes. And even so, there's something about these mini e-bikes with their tiny wheels and short wheelbases that I absolutely adore. They're simple, compact, have single-speed drivetrains, only one level of assist, and require almost zero maintenance. And what's really cool about the H5 Pro is since it folds up, you can put it in almost any car, regardless of the size. And you don't have to worry about a bunch of stuff breaking since the bike is so simple. And you have the added benefit of a rear seat, backrest, and foot pegs so you can share adventure with your child. And regarding range, I basically used only the throttle the entire time when testing. When only using the throttle, I managed to get between 14 to 16 miles out of the battery, which I think is pretty good considering the price of the bike. And just for reference, I'm about 170 pounds. And at the time of this recording, the H5 Pro is only $300 on the company's website, which I think is a great deal for a bike with a passenger seat and these features. But if you have any questions, or have an H5 Pro yourself and want to share your experience, please leave in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great one.